welcome back to my channel. It's been 3 months since I published my first cigar exploration video on this channel. Since then, I've made 80 videos talking and exploring cigars and things that have to do with cigars and whiskey and coffee. So today, making my 81st video, pretty much on the anniversary of 3 months since I started. So I wanted to go with something kind of big. Will I get to 100 videos? Maybe, maybe not. You know, the world is an interesting place. So today I've got the Perdomo INMENSO. This is a sun-grown. It comes in 2 varieties, a sun-grown and a Maduro. This is the 7x70 sun-grown Churchill. Let's get it unwrapped, take a look at it, take a look at the cigar band on this thing. I don't know that I'll ever smoke a cigar this big again. This is definitely the biggest cigar I've ever smoked or will ever smoke. It's got a beautiful cigar band on it. It's a Nicaraguan stick, of course. So it has a 70 gauge, so this will be an interesting video. And it is, they come in 5, 6, and 7. And this is a 7, so this is a Churchill. Just for comparison purposes, I brought out another Churchill. This was the Cohiba. So same length, you can see Churchill 70. But when you look at the foot, I mean, obviously, or the head, you can see the difference between this thing. It is a 7 inches and then, you know, a 7 gauge thickness on this thing. It smells like cedar. It smells like a sun-grown cigar. Some earth, pepper, obviously tobacco smells. So let's see if I can even get this thing cut with my cutter. I thought about that a few minutes ago before I turned the camera on. That will my cutter even allow me to cut this cigar? So let's give it a shot here. So we've got our Perfecto cutter. I'm going to really push that thing in there hard. Okay, looks pretty good. I thought this thing was a 60 and below gauge cutter. Just cut a 70 inch or 7 ring gauge. 70 ring gauge. Get it together. Keep switching the numbers around. So there it is. This thing is just a beast. Don't know how much of this I'm going to actually smoke. I'm assuming this is about an hour and a half or 2 hour smoke on this thing. I mean, I have no idea. I also have a whiskey pairing for us today, which has been a pretty hot topic in the whiskey world. So we're going to check that bottle out then. Let's get this thing lit. So we're just going to toast it, toast the foot end up. What's everybody up to today? What's everybody drinking? What's everybody smoking? Leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if you ever smoked a 70 ring gauge cigar. A 7x70. I mean, I can't even keep it in the frame of the camera. Yeah, let me know if you ever smoked anything this big. I got this stick for $10 at Cigars International. It doesn't look as big on the shelf. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's a nice big cigar. I can't wait. That'll be like a picnic or a party or just an afternoon I want to spend out back. And not realizing how big this thing was. So. Okay. Quite a bit to get it fired up. All right. So far, I mean, right off the bat, just tastes like a pretty average sun-grown to me. It's not the most comfortable. I think I'm going to be here, like I said, for a little bit discussing this thing, but I think maybe 60 gauge and below is for me. I don't know that I need a 70 gauge cigar. Tastes good, has a good draw. Should be pretty wide open, you would assume. Just want to make sure it's lit, and I'm going to get that whiskey. I've done lots of cold draws on these sun-growns. You're just going to get cedar and tobacco. That's what I'm getting now still. Cedar and tobacco. It's kind of sweet. The Maduro is supposedly a little more powerful. They call it a powerful cigar. So I figured I'd start with this one. Maybe smoke the Maduro one day, but I also was kind of due a sun-grown. This is my 13th Perdomo. I'm missing a 20th anniversary sun-grown on that list. This is not the same cigar, but it is a sun-grown nonetheless. So can't imagine V-cutting this thing. That would probably be wild. Wow. Thing delivers on its promise of being pretty much a decent cigar for how big it is. It's aged 5 years, so a little less than a lot of their other stuff. For the size of it, it's about the same price as a Lot 23 or one of their 20th or 10th anniversaries. $10 for that size stick. I mean, as long as you don't mind having that gauge in your mouth, it's a little big. So today I've got that whiskey I was talking about that's sort of been a hot topic lately, and that's the RUSSEL'S Reserve, the 10-year. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 90 proof. So the reason it's been such a hot topic lately is they laser engrave their bottles. So if you can see that there, yeah, there it is. And if you see, this one is an LLMF. So supposedly the distiller, this, not Jimmy, the other one, Eddie, that's who makes RUSSEL'S, said cryptically that they may have dumped some 15-year bottles into the 10-year batch. Now, the one that he was talking about that he was referring to was the LLME. So this is the LLMF. But I thought, you're only one letter off. Maybe there's something to explore here, something to find. So let's see if this tastes like an older whiskey or bourbon. All right, let's get a cork pull. Pretty good. Nice cork too. If it isn't wood, it looks pretty much like wood. It's a pretty good replica, plastic replica if it's not really wood. Smells like your typical bourbon. This is a Wild Turkey product from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Let's get some in a glass. Okay. Let me just show you guys the back of that bottle real quick. Bottom of the bottle, I should say. So you see there's Jimmy and Eddie. Jimmy's the famous one. He's been distilling whiskey for 70 years. Yeah. So I've never had this. So my test basically to see if there's older whiskeys or bourbons in here. We won't really have a good comparison as far as what it normally tastes like, but I think with my palate, with whiskey, I'll be able to tell you if it seems pretty special. And then maybe you go look for the LLMFs. I'm sure the MLMEs are mostly gone. Yeah, this thing's a beast. It's not wide open, thankfully. It has a good draw, but it's not like a killer draw, which I'm assuming they made these cigars to be enjoyable, not to try to kill you with it. I can literally barely fit it in my mouth. It's just so big. So he makes these in 5, 6, and 7 length. So what 6 would be like here, and then 5 would be here. I think you could smoke a 5 by 70, you know, at a reasonable pace, maybe in an hour. This thing's a little excessive, you know, a 7-inch one. Beautiful day here. It's a little chilly, but it's really nice out. You can see the leaves behind me over here. Changing color, just about ready to fall off. Comes our neighbor dog friends to entertain us a bit. Yeah, this thing's really nice. It's nice and smooth. It's got a really nice wrapper on it. They don't offer this in the Connecticut, you know, the Champagne or Connecticut. They don't offer just the sun-grown and the Maduro. And I don't know why that is. It could just be that was their choice, or, I mean, it was obviously their choice, but it could be that they just chose not to do it, or maybe the Connecticut leaves aren't as big as it needs to be. I was thinking about it because it's kind of strange for him, for Perdomo, Nick Perdomo, to only offer 2 of them when he clearly has, you know, 3 in every other line. So if you know anything about that, let me know. It's just an interesting sort of side note to it. You know, what makes these guys make these cigars the way they do? What makes them choose to do it that way? Yeah, it is good though. If you want a giant cigar for $10, let's do a retro and see what it's like. Cedar and tobacco, a little pepper, a little earth. As I mentioned, the cigar was $10. The bourbon was on sale for $43. Not much of a sale on. Usually it's $45. I don't like to buy stuff with cigars or bourbon and pay more than I think I should when I haven't had it before. So that's how I chose to explore all the cigars on this channel, and that's how I chose to pair a lot of these bourbons. Either I knew they were good or they were a reasonable price. This one I don't know anything about other than the hype that's going on, and that it's a wild turkey product. There's a lot of videos right now on YouTube with people talking about the LLME. This is the LLMF, so we'll find out here. I'm going to take a sip in just a sec. Perdomo, your lucky 13 cigar here. My 13th Perdomo I explored on the channel. My 81st video. You know, not counting shorts either. I'm just counting my regular videos. Not counting when I had a little bit of this and decided to turn the camera on. So it smells pretty typical. If you watched my last video with the La Raña in the 1792 bourbon, it smells like that. You can smell a little cinnamon, caramel. Let's give it a taste. Let me take another sip. You're supposed to take 2. It does have a grapiness to it, which is what people were saying is you're tasting that older whiskey in there. When something has an age statement on it like this, when it says it's 10 years old, it has to be at least 10 years old to say that. So they can easily put in 10, 11, 12. They have to, when you put an age statement on, this has to be the youngest whiskey in here. So nothing in this bottle legally is under 10 years old. But they can dump whatever else they want in here. 15-year-old, 20, whatever they have, whatever they want, they can pour it in here. And as long as they have the minimum on here. To get a 10-year-old whiskey from, from Wild Turkey for $45, that's a pretty good deal. I'm getting that grapiness and kind of typical younger whiskey. Not young, like I said, it is a minimum of 10 years in there. But I'm not getting anything, let's put it this way, the 1792 right out the gate, I think might be better than this. But I got to take a couple more sips, obviously. Yeah, this is a typical Perdomo, quality cigar. It's not burning super slow. It's not burning too fast. It has the same feel. It obviously is just enormous. I mean, look at this thing. It's just an enormous cigar. But maybe you like having it. I mean, look, I look like a cartoon character with it in my mouth. It's ridiculous. It's not overpowering at all. It's very mild. I didn't look it up, so I don't know if it's supposed to be. I smoked a Laranja yesterday. Or the other day, whatever day it was, I think it was yesterday. That thing got so spicy, it was definitely a medium cigar. Maybe if you don't smoke cigars often, you would say this is medium right out the gate. I was watching somebody else and they were talking about that too. Depending on what kind of smoker you are. If you smoke Rocky Patels and, strong cigars all the time, you're going to say this is mild. So I don't know that I'm any kind of a person to make a judgment. I just tell you what I think, as far as how I feel about it. Right now it's mild, on the milder side. Out of 10, it's a 2 or 3 out of 10. 10 being the most powerful, 1 being least, it's a 2 or 3. It's very enjoyable, but not very strong. So if you wanted to try these and you wanted to go for the stronger one, maybe try that Maduro first. The nice thing is he offers this at the price point he should. It's not the same quality as far as the ingredients. It's the same cake, it's just bigger. But it does taste different than his other cakes. And it doesn't have the same ingredients. You compare cigars to baking a cake. It's not the same. It's just not the same. But, he's not charging $15, $17 for this cigar. If this was a 30th anniversary and it was this size, it would be $18. So at least he's charging you. He purposely didn't put as good ingredients in this as he could have to keep it at a decent price. That's just how I'm viewing this cigar, because $10, and I think it was like $10.29 for this cigar. I mean, that's an inexpensive cigar for this size, and coming from a reputable cigar manufacturer, a popular cigar manufacturer. A cigar manufacturer you can trust to give you a good product. I've only had 1 out of 13 that wasn't perfect, and it still smoked. It was cracked, which probably means it was underhumidified or overfilled or both or neither. Maybe it was dropped 5 times and I didn't notice. I don't know. I don't think I damaged it though. So this may be a good cigar for me, since I like to just crush them. This one's standing up to my beating pretty good. We're about an inch in on that. and probably about 15 minutes in to the smoke. So, I mean, you can kind of do the math there. Yeah, I'm not trying to say this is bad whiskey, bad bourbon whiskey. It probably fits its price point of 42 to 45 bucks because it was on sale. It does have something going on. It has this like grape. My brain keeps telling me it's either grape or cherry. I just find cherry in everything. I want my brain to find this as grape, but I'm just getting a lot of that Kentucky in here again. You know, I was talking about the water in Kentucky. It's gonna be hard for me to say because I love Four Roses, and I even really like Woodford, and a bunch of other stuff too. You know, I love whiskey, but if I had to pick 2 distillers to drink from the rest of my life, this would be one of them. Wild Turkey would be one of them. They put out special releases. You know, they have just the Wild Turkey 101, their rare breed. I've had the 101 on this channel, but never had the rare breed on this channel. That rare breed is fantastic. I had that before. It's one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. And then the other distiller I would put in there is Buffalo Trace. And it's kind of cliche. You know, they're both from Kentucky, but the Kentucky whiskey profile fits my desire when it comes to whiskey. You know, you can't deny, it's just like the Perdomo. You know, Perdomo would be one of my 2 cigars I would pick as well. I couldn't not. I'd have to pick this in my top 2, you know, manufacturer. If you could only smoke two manufacturer cigars the rest of your life, Perdomo doesn't even really have that much different stuff. There's manufacturers out there that have hundreds of different cigars. You know, Perdomo has a few dozen different ones. I know what you're thinking. Who would be my other cigar manufacturer? Boy, that is a tough one. I'll tell you. Well, it's a cop-out. It's an easy one to pick because they have so much, and they have one of my favorite cigars, Oliva. You know, Oliva has the nub. Oliva has the Master Blends 3 that I love. So, you know, and I haven't tried any nub except for the one I tried on the channel, which was the Connecticut 358, but I've got some nubs coming. I'm going to be trying some of those soon. This is about the size of a nub. Just kidding. Not quite, but twice that much is. You know, a nub's 3 inches. 3 1/4 inches, whatever. 3 3/4 inches. The nub's literally that big from the ash to here. This is at least 2 nubs. A nub and a third. 2 nubs and a third, I mean. I'm all over the place today. I had a lot to talk about, so I'm trying to get everything in here that I want to say. I didn't plan this either. I literally was looking at my videos and watching them, looking at some of my older stuff, and I realized, I'm like, wow, I made 80 videos. They weren't all exploration. A couple of them were some other stuff, but, you know, mostly, you know, this might be my 80th exploration video. I think I had one in there where I burned some cigar nubs. So this might be the 80th exploration video. You know, and a lot of those were budget videos. 13 of them now were Perdomo videos. So it just was chugging along, you know, doing this for 3 months. 80 videos in 3 months. Like I said, not counting my shorts. Shorts, I'm a video a day, but I don't count those. So, but 80 videos in 3 months. If you've been along for the ride, thank you for being here. I think this has been such a journey so far. Like, that's a lot of material. That's a lot of things to look at and explore. Which Which brings me to, what do I title this video? Do I just title it Perdomo INMENSO? Do I title it 80 videos, 80 cigar videos, 3-month anniversary? What do I title the video? I guess I'll just title it Perdomo and then put that stuff in the description. Got a little something in my mouth, a little piece of the filler there. Looks good though, everything's okay. I like when I make a video on the cigar is like a nice cigar. I don't have to bite it, figure out how to get it to smoke, and that's kind of nice. That makes my job a little easier. Yeah, like I said, good quality, very good quality. I'm enjoying this a lot, more than I thought I was gonna. I kind of figured this stick was gonna be pretty spicy. It's not. It's got a tiny little spice on the tongue, back of my throat, but not much at all. Way less than I thought. Way less than some of his other stuff, which now you can think, and you think about, okay, this is a 5-year cigar, aged 5 years. You know, is some of his other ones that barrel aged 12-year. I mean, they're going to be spicier. Maybe it's because of the aging. They say cigars just get better with age, like wine. Whiskey, not so much. Some people think whiskey ages in the bottle. It doesn't age in the bottle. It only ages in the cask, in the barrel. It doesn't age in here. Once it's in here, it can get better or worse just from the air being able to get into it, but it doesn't actually age in here. Generations of Craft, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Father and son. Let's see, right? Am I saying that? Is it father and son? Son, yeah, his son. Bourbon that delivers notes of rich, spicy vanilla. Rich, spicy vanilla. See, I'm getting caramel and grape. So, I mean, there's spice though. You know, now that I read it, what happens is when you read things, that's why I try not to watch other people's reviews of stuff if I'm gonna explore it or look at it. It'll take your mind, it will take you there. You know, your mind goes, oh, spicy vanilla, yeah, sure, spicy vanilla. I don't really get the vanilla, unless it's like that generic vanilla I've talked about. I get the spice, though. I'm getting some spice. I mean, my problem right now is I just drank that 1792, and it was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And not that this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I just didn't really have a big expectation. I was hoping this was going to blow my mind, because I was hoping that it had 15 years stuff in it. Now, again, if you look it up, this is the LLMF. Maybe there's none in this and there is in the LLME, but in my mind, I'm looking at the alphabet and I'm like, okay, if the ME had it, maybe the MF will. I'm also assuming the MF comes after ME. So, you know, something to consider there. It could just be regular. It might not have a drop of something else in it. It could be just a regular formula. All right, I'm going to ash this. Although I'm tempted to see, with this kind of gauge, how long this ash hangs on here. I know I'm going to wear it. Yeah. Typical with me, though. Once I get my 4th sip of whiskey, then the cigar starts tasting even better. So, don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. cedar, tobacco, a little bit of spice. Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. 5-year aged everything, interior, exterior. You know, leave it to Perdomo to put another beautiful cigar band on here. I mean, what more could you ask for? The retro is really good. It's creamy. Gives you that cedar that you're looking for. Definitely some cederness. I know he stores these. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know where he stores these. Most of his cigars, though, that he sells are stored in a cedar storage place. A cedar house, a cedar closet, whatever they call it. Cedar humidor. Which does give him a little cedar. But this one, you're getting a lot when you do the retro. I know I repeat myself a lot. I guess dead air. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know why somebody would want to stare at me if I'm not saying something. But anyway, you gotta leave me a comment if you smoked anything this size before. I'd love to know your experience. If you smoked one of these, if you smoked something else. I'm just curious. You know, where did you smoke it? Why did you smoke a cigar that big? Just because you wanted to? You like them that ring gauge? Were you going somewhere? You know, what was the deal? And when you did, or if you did, what did you smoke? You know, what kind? I'd love to know the brand and the, you know, what kind of a leaf it had on it. Yeah, that thing is delivering on it. That is a good sun-grown cigar. You know, it's not the best. Like I said, I think his other stuff is better. His other sun-grown stuff is better. But definitely good, though. No doubt. In case you didn't already guess, I'm going to be drinking more bourbon than usual because I've got a much bigger cigar than usual. But this is definitely my one and only cigar for the day, that's for sure. Till later on, when I got a bunch of this in me, and I'm like, let's just smoke something else. This thing you gotta be careful about. It's beautiful liquid. Do a sun shot, kinda. I mean, it's not as dark. The 15, if you look up the 15, or if you have the 15, also comment. But the 15 is the 15 is so dark, it almost looks like something's wrong with it. That's how dark the 15-year stuff. It looks like chocolate milk or coffee or something in the bottle. It's crazy looking. That's how that Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is. It's so dark. And that Maker's Cast that I drink all the time is really dark too. They're really dark, but you know, this is your typical stuff. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, unless you find an LLME, I'd say save yourself $10 and just buy the 1792 small batch. 33 for that, 30 or 43 for this. Just buy the small batch. The small batch was thicker. It was more viscous. The small batch made me want to gulp it. This doesn't make me want. I mean, I love gulping bourbon, but the small batch just was so inviting. I kept going back to it over and over and over again. I would say this is better than Wild Turkey 101. I know Wild Turkey 101 isn't aged this long. Wild Turkey 101's aged like 6 or 7 years. This has a little more age on it. It's also $15 more expensive than Wild Turkey 101. I think if your budget isn't as important, I'd say go for this over the Wild Turkey 101. You know, and try them for yourself. Try the 1792 and this. Taste test them, compare them, explore them. Because that 1792 is fantastic. Like, I can't even believe how good it is. I knocked that ash off on purpose. It didn't seem like it wanted to come off. I had to kind of force it off there. There's my cone inside, so you can see I'm smoking it a little fast. Not extremely fast, but a little. Lucky number 13 here. 13th Perdomo. Oh boy, I have not gotten many discounts on those Perdomos either, which means I'm spent about 150 bucks on Perdomo so far. Again, worth every penny. Worth every single penny. Yeah, it was a lot different making these videos when I started 3 months ago. You know, it was what? August? Middle of August? September, October, yeah. Middle of August, just about. Weather was a little different then. You know, I remember I was sitting out here without a shirt on in some of these videos. I just was doing things in the yard and then would just pop over to my porch and make a video. It seemed less windy then too. I could just be my imagination, but it was definitely warmer. It feels good right now though. I have the sun on my back, so I'm nice and warm at this current moment, but it is about 46 degrees here, 45 degrees. Do I look ridiculous smoking this thing? Do I look ridiculous when I put it in my mouth? Is it too big for my head? I can't really tell in the video. Am I pulling it off? Maybe you're just so used to me smoking cigars that you're like, yeah, this guy smokes little teeny sticks to giant ones. I should have brought a nub out here to compare that. This Churchill comparison. I mean, just look at the size difference in this thing. This thing's got to be almost twice what this is. This Cohiba doesn't say what it is. It doesn't say. It just says it's a Churchill, and obviously we compared. We know they're both 7 inches. I just don't know what the ring gauge on that was. Not 70, I can tell you that, and it definitely wasn't 35. So it has to be. It's got to be like a 48 or a 50. Yeah, I'd say 48 or 50, maybe 52 at the most. So about 20 gauges smaller than this one. Yeah, this thing's nice. It's getting a little spicier too, which is what happens to me a lot. I'll say something's really mild, and then as I go, I realize it's not so mild. Still okay. Still a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to forget that it's a 70 gauge. It says it right on there. I saw an interview with him too, with Nick Perdomo, and asked him if he was gonna make any of his other offerings, this gauge, and he said no. He's offering these two, Sun Grown and Maduro, in the 5, 6, and 7 by 70, and that's it. He's only doing 3 sizes of each and 1 ring gauge of it, and not going anywhere else. I don't blame him either. I mean, he has a product that people love. People are paying a premium for it, even here in America. So I can't imagine he would mess around with that stuff. Even start screwing around with his blend. He has it pretty much perfected. I don't know a single person that doesn't like Perdomo. I mean, there's people who will say the value maybe not there, but I don't know anybody that says it's junk. I never met somebody or saw anybody online that said that. Yeah, just the construction on this thing is just so nice. The leaf is sort of cracking, but not in any sort of a way that you can see it there. I think that's just kind of a natural occurrence. A lot of cigars I smoke do that. It's not actually cracking. It's just kind of sort of unpeeling. Got to put this thing down. Doing that quick smoke thing. Blasting that thing. This bourbon's cold too. It's a little too cold. That happens to wine. I used to drink a lot of wine. That happens to wine. If you're drinking, white wine and it gets too warm, it loses some of its character. And if you're drinking red wine and it gets too cold, dry red wine, same thing. It loses something, so I don't want it to be too cold. It's really good. I'm just trying to... The problem is I had that 1792. That's my problem. If I didn't have that, this wouldn't be... I would be telling you how great this is, and it would be worth the money. It is good. I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth, where you're at. It might be less, but when it's not on sale, it's about $45. And $45, you can get that cast strength. That Maker's Mark cast strength for $45. Just because it says 10 year and that liquid's 10 years old or older doesn't mean it's worth it. Doesn't mean it's worth the money. And I've talked about lots of times on this channel. I've gotten burned plenty of times on expensive whiskey, and it wasn't worth it. Yeah, awesome. Another awesome Perdomo product. And I really didn't know what to expect other than what it delivered, which was Perdomo. But I didn't know. Maybe it would be dry and draw really hard and not have good flavors, and I didn't expect that though. I expected it to be what it is. Or I should say I would have guessed that it would be what it is. Good stuff. Do they make a cigar bigger than 70? 70 gauge? I'm not exactly a giant man or anything. I'd say I'm about average size, but this thing just seems like a lot to sort of deal with. The ash is like so big, it's like sticking up out of my ashtray. Like the ashtray can't even handle the ash. I could see myself later smoking like a nub or something, or one of those Quorum sun-growns. I could see that. I'm already looking into the future, trying to convince myself not to do that, but it's not late in the day. It's not early, but it's not late in the day either. Say we're halfway through the cigar. I'm sitting back here, relaxing, thinking to myself, I'm gonna have to try the Maduro now. You know, if I can get it for a good price, if I can get it for 10 or 11 bucks, I'm gonna have to try it now, just to compare, just to, you know, even if I don't make a video exploring it, just to see how much more, because they said it's a strong, intense, powerful was the word, powerful cigar. I mean, this one is not powerful. So I wonder if, you know, even though it says sun-grown, which is typically in the middle or the high strength, I wonder if this is more towards the Connecticut lighter end. You know, maybe he's spread it out. He made one that was real mild and then one that was real powerful, because I'm not getting anything but very mild, you know, 3 out of 10 on that halfway through. Could it spice up? Sure, it might, but I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be consistent. Ten-year-old barrels. It's pretty amazing. amazing that the two things I fell in love with, both of them need age on them to be good. Cigars and whiskey need age. Without age, it's vodka and a cigarette. There's nothing wrong with vodka and a cigarette, by the way. If you're having a vodka and a cigarette watching me, awesome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Talked about the new cigar lounge I found in my last video. Can't wait to get up there again. Probably get up there next day or two. Get them nice and familiar with this face, whatever you want to call this handsome face, and then hopefully make a video up there. That's what I want to do. I want to show you guys that lounge, because I know people are watching in other places that can't get there. I'd love for you to see this place. It's your quintessential, just old, dusty lounge with lots of character. It's pretty cool. Most lounges I've been to are fairly new. You know, they've only been here for a couple years, open a couple years. That one has got at least 15 on it, 15 years, so they're back to liking things with age on them. I showed you guys the cut here. I'll show it to you again real quick. It's the style I like. I just want to show you what I cut off of here too, though, because it's interesting. It's a very interesting cut off. I don't want to knock any of this off here, but I mean, I literally cut no tobacco off of here. This is literally just the leaf itself. Pretty awesome. I mean, if that's not quality, you know, there was a couple little pieces stuck to it that fell off just now, but I didn't cut into the cigar very far at all. Like literally just a slither of it off. Which is pretty awesome. Just crumbles apart. It is good. I know I said it like 10 times, but yeah, I could do this all day. I can do this all day. Give me a bourbon like that, whiskey bourbon, and a cigar, and I can do this all day. This is like right up my alley. yeah, I definitely recommend this cigar, and I definitely recommend that bourbon, as long as you're not on a tight budget, or you're just not one of those people like me that doesn't want to spend a lot. I think you should try it, for sure. I do think the 1792 is a better value, being that it's $10 less, and you're getting slightly higher proof, which isn't that important in this situation. The proof, or this is 90 proof stuff. The 1792 is 93.7. I don't think you're going to notice that when you're drinking. Meaning, if you have 3 of these and you have 3 of those, I don't think you're going to be able to tell. But the quality certainly wasn't less on the 1792, but it was less money, and like almost 25% less. It's like 20% less. It's pretty big percentage. Maybe I'll do a comparison video of the two. Get myself the Maduro and this, and do the comparison video. Maybe throw in some wild turkey, and I don't know. I don't like doing blind whiskey tastings or whatever, exploration, because I feel like that's done so much. I feel like there's so many channels that do that. There's so many cigar channels too, but I feel like the whiskey channels are just way overblown. There's like 1,000 of them. Like, I get a new one in my feed every day of a whiskey, reviewer. I think there's a lot of guys and gals doing bourbon and cigar, whiskey and cigar pairings. There's obviously a few, and there may be more than I even know about, but I just try to bring something unique to this channel. Wanted you guys to see what it's like for a newcomer to the cigar world, and relatively new to the whiskey world. I'm only a few years into the whiskey. It's not like I've been drinking whiskey since I'm in my 20s. I was shooting whiskey and mixing it in soda in my 20s, but not drinking it like this. Not where you can really tell and taste nuances and viscosity and proofs and stuff like that. And for cigars, I just told you, I'm only 3 months into cigars. And I smoked a couple of Tatianas before I made my first video. My first video was a chocolate Tatiana. I forget what size it was, but it wasn't a big one. It was like a 6x42 or something. I hate those Tatianas too. I feel bad trashing them. If you're a Tatiana person, I feel bad trashing them, but they're just not a good cigar. And even the money, they're not $1. They're not $2. They're $4, $5. I'm a broken record right now, but you can get the quorums for $2. You can get. I'd rather smoke one of these any day over a Tatiana. Everybody has to figure the money thing out themselves. If I was a millionaire, I still would smoke these same cigars. I wouldn't go for $70, $80 cigars. I would every once in a while, probably, to try one, to explore it. But not just because I had more money. I wouldn't just go for stuff, I'd be smoking these. I'd have boxes of these Perdomos, I can tell you that. Boxes of champagne, boxes of Maduros. Got some new stuff coming. Some new brands I've never explored. Looking forward to that. I told you at the beginning of this video, I've got some more nubs coming. I got 2 or 3 nubs that I haven't explored yet coming. So, looking forward to that. Just to see, that nub surprised me. I'll let you know the pricing and everything in the video, but I paid $5 for what I saw was a nub that retails for $9. That was worth it. $5 was worth it. Something different. It had really great flavors. It was real creamy, real smooth. Cedar. It was good. Check that video out. Appreciate all your comments on that video too. Getting a lot of comments on that video. A lot of comments. I mean, even this cigar band is not perfect though. You might have seen this in the beginning. See, it says made, or it probably says handmade, but it's under there. So you see the word, part of the word made. I'm sure it says handmade. I'm surprised because they ain't gonna have a bigger ring gauge at Perdomo than this. So I'm surprised that this isn't perfect. Surprised it doesn't say handmade in Nicaragua. There's really no reason it would overlap on a cigar that's their biggest ring gauge. Sorry, Nick, but I found a flaw. I found a chink in your armor, as they say. This isn't perfect, buddy. Who knows? By now he may have corrected it, the way that guy works. This thing is so good. Just looking back in my brain, I didn't really think of anything to say. I don't like to write a script. I don't ever like script my videos. I try to just think of things I'm going to say in the beginning when I know I have the biggest audience. And then as I go, I just think of stuff. But I'm looking back in my mind and thinking about some of those 80 videos I made. And I think one of my favorite things was, the recent favorite thing was when the leaf landed on my head. That was pretty weird. That was pretty cool. And then another thing that I can think of that was pretty not cool, but it was pretty funny, was when I cedar lit a cigar. I used a piece of cedar to light it, and a piece of the cedar, you know, burned and fell off and fell on my leg and burnt the crap out of my leg. That was kind of memorable. These are things that I'm learning through exploring. Damn straight, next time I light a cigar with a piece of cedar, I'll be sure not to drop the burned piece of wood onto my leg. I had pants on, and it still burned through my pants and burned my skin. Freaking hurt. Or all the wildlife attacking me out here. Birds making noises and bees trying to get my cigars and my whiskeys. Like I said, I'll probably get to 100 videos. You know, I didn't even realize I was at 80. It was an accident that I realized it. I'll probably get to 100, but you never know. Stuff happens. There it is, handmade, covered up. It's not like you. It's not like you, Nick. Somehow it looks even bigger now without the cigar band on it. I used to throw all the cigar bands away, and I've been keeping some now. In my mind, I could always just go back and look at my video, see if I really like the cigar or not. But it's a little quicker and easier to just keep the ones I like. So now I just have a pile of ones I like. This cigar band will be going in that pile of ones I like. Coincidence? I just took the cigar band off and I got something different out of this thing. Not sure what that is. About an hour in. We're getting into the last third. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't like the ring gauge. I still don't like the 70 in my mouth. I can handle it. It's not like it's uncomfortable, but it's too big. But on the other hand, I do like how long this cigar is lasting. Since I'm a fast smoker, you know, I'm thinking an hour, 20, hour and a half on this. That's, for me, I love that. And there is times where I go for a Robusto, you know, because I want a 45-minute smoke, something like that. So I think it fits the profile of a giant quality cigar, which, as I said, leave me a comment. I don't know how many giant quality cigars are available out there. Is there a ton? Is there one? Have you ever had one? I know this cigar, pretty sure this was only hit the market, it was only started being offered 3 or 4 years ago. So I can just really appreciate when I have something in my cup that seems a little special. It does seem a little special. I'm still not getting the vanilla, unless the vanilla is the caramel. I get the spice, but just not the vanilla. I'm surprised this cigar cutter could get that cigar cut too. You know, because to me this thing's like a 60 gauge. But I mean, I pushed it in there, but I didn't like smush it in. And you saw it barely nipped the end off. I showed you guys that, which is how I like them cut anyway. So I wonder if you can even V-cut something this size. Did I mention that? It seems like it would be too big to put a V-cut on. I have to look next time I'm at Cigars International if they even have anything other than I think they had the Maduro, and I passed on it and went for this one. I wonder if they have the 5 and 6 lengths, or if it's just the Churchill, just the 7-inch length they have. Because they don't have everything there. They didn't have any 30ths at Cigars International. Just the 10s, 20s, lot 23s, and the Habanos, and the 12-year aged. Which is a lot. Which is a lot of stuff. What is that? What am I getting out of this thing? What's new here? What's new? What's new? I just can't put my finger on it. I guess I want to say it's leather. I like leather and tobacco. I'm smoking a product made of tobacco. Some guys hate leather. I watch other guys' videos and they say that when a cigar gives them leather, they're just like, ugh, hate leather. I like it. I mean, to me, it fits I'm using this word a lot, but the profile, I'm smoking a cigar. If you're getting some leather in it, that seems right to me. Big retro hell there. And no problems. Spice, my tongue, the very back of my throat, but not a problem spice. Nothing I would say is bad. As a matter of fact, I'd say the opposite. It's good. I'm hearing some cracking. I don't know if you heard that. When I took a drag off of it, I heard cracking inside, which was part of what I thought might happen to this thing. Like it might just explode. Like not actually explode, but might just come apart because of how big it is. I'm assuming if you buy this cigar on purpose, you know, that you're going to smoke it all. You're not just going to throw half of it away. So I can't imagine the quality degrades as we get down here, but let's find out. Yeah, that's what it is. Leather. Took me a little bit. At first I thought it was a baking spice. At first I thought it was like a nutmeg or something, but it's not. It's leather. It's getting leathery. And like I said, there is channels that complain about that. They complain when it gets leathery. It's good I don't have anything else to do this afternoon. There we go. That's how it's supposed to sound. You see? I didn't drink much. Here's my third pour, though. I don't know that I've ever poured a third one on this channel. We're celebrating, though. We're celebrating all kinds of stuff. Beautiful weather, good whiskey, a good giant cigar. Life is beautiful. Cheers to you guys. Those of you that comment, I can't thank you guys enough. I read every single comment. And I usually reply. I mean, if it's something that I think I should reply to, that I think you'd want to reply, I always reply. I don't care how big if this channel ever got big, which it won't, but if it ever did, I would always remember you guys, the first people that were here, and I would always reply to your comments. I hate when I comment on somebody's channel and they don't reply to it. Like if it's something, if I ask a question and they don't reply, it drives me crazy. Where'd that airplane go? I saw it going up. We've got a regional airport near me, Reading Regional, and I don't know that there's a lot of regional airports. At least in this area, they get more traffic than that one. Reading is busy. They got flight lessons and guys with money taking their planes up all the time, just cruising around. I mean, I'm about 5 miles straight shot to the airport. They're everywhere. There's planes everywhere. Whoa. See? A visitor. A nasty visitor that time. That was a fly. That was like a horse fly. That wasn't even a bee. About an hour and 15 minutes in on this. I'm sure at a cigar lounge, or if I was alone, wasn't making a video, that would last even longer than it's gonna. But I tend to feel like I need to talk or smoke, one or the other. So sometimes I feel like you'd rather see me smoke than talk. I'm really into that. I'm really into that bourbon. Last two new things I had, this one and that 1792. Just really good. I'll stop talking about the money. Focus on the part that's important. Are they good? The answer is yes. I don't know what that tapping is. I don't know if you can hear that. It's either a woodpecker or a squirrel. Hoping it's not tapping on headquarters. Hopefully it's in a tree. Thanksgiving's coming up, a couple of weeks. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? You spend it with your family, friends? You like being alone? I always spend Thanksgiving with my family. It's definitely one of my favorite holidays. I like it because everybody gets together. You know, it seems like where I'm at anyway, it's a pretty big, widely celebrated holiday. Everybody makes effort to actually get together, unlike other holidays. It feels like Christmas without the presents, which I think makes sense why I like it so much, because you're not getting together for any other purpose other than to see each other and spend time together. The food helps, but in my family, everybody contributes. Everybody brings something. It's kind of like if you guys have heard of this before, it's kind of like a potluck. It's not quite like that though, because we all know what we're bringing. But I like it because it's about being together, you know, and everybody loves to drink and smoke. So we'll be drinking and smoking that day. I'll be bringing, I'll probably, if I'm just off the top of my head, I'll probably bring a dozen cigars to my Thanksgiving gathering, because you never know who will, I don't want to say get some balls, but who will have some guts and decide after a couple of cocktails they want to fire up a cigar with me. And I'll bring everything. I'll bring a variety. I mean, like I'll bring Perdomos. I have Perdomo Habano Connecticut's right now. I'll bring those. I'll bring my Man of Wars. I'll bring my 5 Vegas. By then they should be hopefully humidified correctly. Check that video out. I think that cigar was just way under humidified. And then I'll bring some Quorums for the people that are on the fence and they'll say, oh, I don't want to waste one of your cigars. What I'll say, here's a Quorum. You can't really waste a Quorum. I mean, obviously you can waste it, but $2. And then I'll bring some dark chocolatey stuff for people that know they like to smoke. You know, I'll bring like a couple of Cohibas and what else do I got? Laranjas. Bring some Laranjas. Like 4 Quorums, 2 Perdomo Habanos, 2 Laranjas. Was that 8? Yeah, two each of the Quorums. So sun and shade. And the Laranjas. Some Cohibas. Probably 2 Cohibas. Probably this one. Bring this red. It's Churchill. And maybe bring a blue. Yeah, it's 8. And bring some other stuff. Maybe bring some of those Cuban honeys. People that like sweet sticks. Some of them Sweet Janes, little sticks. I'll have like the gamut. Like the run. You know, whatever you're into, I'll have it. I'll have it. Just inhaled by accident. That happens to me sometimes. See that retro? That's a nice one. That's a lot of smoke on a retro. And it's smooth. So, again, though, I'm going to stick with my guns on this one. Sometimes I flip-flop. I'm staying with my initial thoughts on this. This is a 3 out of 10. I would consider this a mild cigar. I think 1, 2, 3 is mild. 4, 5, 6 is medium. And then 7, 8, 9 is full-bodied, intense. There's that fly again. And he's a nasty one. A nasty little sucker. Yeah, so there's a plane up there. Either that or it's a shooting star or a rocket. I'm hoping it's a plane. Hear that crack? Could literally be from just being outside for an hour and a half. It's not going to affect the integrity of the cigar. It's just interesting, you know? I picture in 20 years sitting on a porch in a rocking chair, smoking a cigar. I'll think back about these videos when that kind of stuff happens, when it cracks a little. By then I'll be an experienced cigar smoker. Hopefully I'm still here. That would be nice. Yeah, this thing did not, it was over-promising. You know, I thought it was over-promising. 7 by 70, I mean, come on. Even if it says Perdomo, 7 by 70, you're over-promising there. But no, it did not. It delivered. It delivered on its promise. Delivered on its promise of being a decent smoke the whole way for $10. Like I said, I think it was $10.29. It sticks in my head because it's the biggest cigar I ever bought. And it's the biggest cigar I ever smoked, obviously. And I thought it was going to be the only 70 gauge cigar I ever smoked. But if I see that Maduro and it's priced right, I'm buying it. About an hour and 20 minutes into this puppy. This is almost the size of a nub. It's a little smaller than a nub. I wish I had a nub out here to compare. Almost want to run inside and grab one. I'm not gonna though. I don't want to leave you guys. Man, this stuff smells so good. Yeah, I'm getting that Kentucky, man. That cherry or that grape. I want to say it's grape, but my brain keeps telling me. My brain goes, it's grape. And then as I'm swallowing it, my brain goes, it's cherry. Can't make up my mind. I'm starting to get a little buzzed, though. I'm not going to lie about that either. 2 of these in, man. You start to feel it. It's like I drank 4+ shots out here. Just nice and slow, but it'll still get you. Yeah. Leather, cedar, tobacco. Slight spice. I know I'm spitting everywhere. I realize that when I watch my videos. I watch some of them, and I see I'm just spitting everywhere. Drooling all over the place. I watch some of these chefs making stuff too on YouTube, and I don't know how they don't drool all over the place. They must cut it out. They must edit it, because these guys make some stuff that looks like $1 million. Whether it's a steak or a dessert, it's like, whoa. Yeah, so, I mean, not that anybody doubted this in the beginning of the video, but you're looking at a solid 1.5 hours on this cigar. There's not a person tuned into this that didn't think it was going to be 1.5 hours, but, I mean, some people get 2 hours out of this. If you let it go out, I mean, you're talking, socializing a lot. I mean, I could see getting 2 hours out of this thing if you're a slow smoker, you know. Check out my dusk video. I made a video at dusk with a La Historia, and I smoked it for an hour because I took my time. It's a good video. It's one of my favorites. I was pretty drunk in that video too. All right, put this thing down one more time. Let it calm down a little bit. Drink some more of this whiskey. I'm sure no one is still here. If you are, you're awesome. I don't know how YouTube works. I don't think it matters if you watch the whole video or 5 minutes. I think it's just about you tuning in. As far as like views and crap, I just don't care. Anybody that's here, man, cheers. Cheers, men and women, for being here. Appreciate you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to hang out with you. Let's get another look at this bottle. The a Russell's Reserve. I thought for a little while that I was going to turn into a rye whiskey guy, and I have not. I'm definitely a bourbon guy. Definitely like bourbons. Bourbon's the best. But, I mean, there's some great rye whiskeys. That Wiseman by Kentucky Owl, that rye, man, for 40 bucks, 45 bucks, that's one of those ones that you're like, man, that's worth every penny. And then there's Tennessee whiskey. It's like that Jack Daniels, some of that stuff, man. Those single barrel proofs, you know, whether it's just the regular one or the rye, those things are killer, man. And that don't even start with the Coy Hill. I can't even get that. There's videos online about the Coy Hill that's just awesome. Supposedly that's one of the best whiskeys ever made. Got to get my hands on some of that. And then you know what I haven't tried is the Jack Daniels. They come in smaller bottles. They come in 700 milliliters instead of 750. They have a bonded in that. And then they have like a malted whiskey in that. Some other stuff I'm looking forward to trying. I'm really enjoying the leather. It morphed like slowly into leather. Like it really took its time. That could be because of the size. I don't know. But it did not like just smack me with leather. It gave me something little. I didn't know what it was. And then as I went 10, 15 minutes and, you know, more, the leather really gets you. You know, you got to like leather. If you hate leather, maybe don't smoke this stick, or smoke half of it and waste the other half, because the leather only started halfway through. I'm wearing a leather jacket. It has nothing to do with it. I just like coincidences. This thing's starting to get a little more intense. Starting to crack our leaf a little. See that? It's pretty typical, especially with this size, with this gauge. It's part of the reason I wasn't sure about the nub, but the nub seems to hold it together pretty good. Remember, the nub's only a 58. This is a 70. That's a big difference. After smoking this thing for an hour and a half, it doesn't feel as big anymore. Like it just doesn't seem like I can't imagine now. This seems like such a small cigar. You know what I mean? Like, this just doesn't seem big anymore. Even though it's a Cohiba Churchill, it just doesn't seem like a big cigar. It seems tiny. And this seems like a regular cigar. Yeah, getting intense. But honest with you, it's just a little hotter. Spice has increased a little bit, but nothing. I'm still calling this thing a 3 out of 10. Maybe a 4. Maybe a 4. But only in this last quarter is it a 4. But gun to my head, I'm telling you, this is a 3. I'm going to the high end of the mild spectrum on this. No matter where I exhale, it blows right in my face. I don't really care. I just think it's funny. It's like the wind changes directions on purpose to blow it in my face. I lied to you guys. I'm going to put this down one more time. Let it calm down again. Do you guys spit when you smoke cigars? I don't always. Sometimes for some reason, I get a lot of like saliva built up. As I was just saying how I'm drooling everywhere. A lot of saliva built up, and I don't know, just makes sense to spit it instead of swallowing it. I think spitting sometimes maybe makes you less susceptible to sickness from cigars. You're not swallowing that sort of tobacco smoky liquid in your mouth. I could be just completely wrong about that. I don't know. I think it's starting to get a little busted up now. It's not as pretty anymore. I still think we're okay. This is the most enjoyable cigar I've ever smoked more than an hour and a half, because it's the only cigar I've ever smoked for more than an hour and a half. Yeah, I do not know what to call this video. I want to call it something to get people's attention. Is Perdomo INMENSO enough to get people's attention? I guess I really don't care if people watch it or not. I want you guys to. I want people to watch it. Explore with me. Watch my video. But, you know, YouTube tells me most people tune out within like 5 minutes. Which is why in the beginning, when I made videos, I didn't make them much more than 5 or 10 minutes. Because I figured, who's going to sit there and watch me smoke a cigar? But some people do. And those of you that are here and have watched and like the longer videos, that's great. I'd just be sitting here with the camera off anyway. So, what's the difference? I feel like when I stand up, I'm going to fall over between all the nicotine and the bourbon. Hopefully I don't. And if I do, you guys won't see that anyway, because I'll shut the camera off before then. Well, I don't regret my decision to buy that bottle. It may be kind of like the Heaven Hill, Bottle and Bond Heaven Hill. It's good. It's just not worth the money. I'll let you be the judge. Let me know if you pick a bottle up. If you got any LLMEs sitting around and you don't know it, look at that laser engraving. I showed you that in the beginning of the video. It's on every bottle from Wild Turkey. They laser engrave the glass. So, I mean, I guess somebody could forge it or scrape it off. I don't know how that'd be possible, but it's their way of making sure that you're getting the real deal. I wish it was an LLME, but it's an LLMF, so take it for what it's worth. So curious to see what thumbnail YouTube picks for this video, since it's my longest video. Sometimes YouTube picks a really cool thumbnail. Other times they just pick one that I look like an idiot. My face is like, I never understand the AI's choices on that, but hey, AI is pretty new, right? Yep, an hour and 45 minutes. I know I didn't light it exactly an hour and 45 minutes ago right now, but 2-3 minutes, hour and 45 minutes, that's, for me, that's a heck of a cigar, man. Getting hot now. Hot on my lips and hot on my fingers here. There's a big flaming ash in there, you know? .70 gauge wide, glowing cherry, just an inch from my lips and half an inch from my fingers. There's one of those birds I was talking about. Who knows what that is, right? I don't know what the heck that is. Ooh, baby. It's getting spicy, getting hot. Damn, bourbon and cigars are good together. Ooh. Yeah, buddy. Getting hot. Or it is hot. Told you it was getting hot 5 minutes ago. It's hot. Three whiskeys down the hatch. Too bad. I don't drink that much. Alrighty, I'll drink a little bit. Alright, you guys. Things are getting crazy over here. Woo! All right. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you guys in the next video.